You know when you're talking to someone who really knows their stuff and is passionate about what they love? Well, that's what we have for you today. Tim Moloney from the Columbus and Franklin County Metro Parks is here. We chat about why he's such a big parks guy, the incredible health benefits of parks, and the current Winter Hike series. We also learned so much about some of the best kept secrets in parks here in Central Ohio. All that and more coming up on Health is Real.
Come on in, stay a while. Andrew Stinson here alongside Zach Watson. The name of the podcast is Health is Real from Franklin County Public Health. Coming to you from Memorial Hall here in downtown Columbus. Zach Watson, how's it going today?
It's going good, Andrew. It might be chilly outside, but we're bringing the heat today because we've got a great guest.
Yes. So excited for our guest today. Tim Moloney. He is the Executive Director of Columbus and Franklin County Metro Parks. Tim, how's it going today?
Absolutely spectacular. What better way of celebrating winter than talking to everybody about what you can do in winter out in your metro parks?
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Bringing the energy, too.
Yes.
So first, we just want to know a little bit about you. How did you get to where you are now with the parks?
We'll just start off being honest. Dumb luck, and I guess the Board of Park Commissioners had nobody better to choose. No.
There you go.
But in reality, Parks and Recreation's been my entire professional career, and it really started as a kid, and maybe we'll get into that a little bit, but I started with Columbus Recreation and Parks working at Linden Rec Center, and even a little bit before that, I worked on their playgrounds, summer playground program. And right off the bat, I realized this is a career that I'll spend my entire career with. And, it evolved through the city of Columbus with Linden Rec Center, and then Dodge Recreation Center, and then that turned into more of an environmental role. I became their outdoor education coordinator, where I took care of Indian Village, Smith Farms, some of the natural resources, a lot of backpacking, a lot of camping, a lot of fishing. And that really set me on a path to the role I'm in now. And that took me from Columbus to the city of Westerville, where I helped them open their new community center, took care of their aquatics program, some of their rental facilities. And then once again, I fell into a great job with the city of Upper Arlington as their Parks and Recreation Director. And I was able to spend about 10 years there, not only creating programs, parks, and spaces, but really training to take the job I have now, which I'm going to tell a little bit of a secret. I have the absolute best job in the world working for the absolute best park system anywhere in the country. And it really is. And hopefully we get into it a little bit about how great your metro parks are.
Oh, yes, we'll get into that.
You just gave us a full run of your history here. You are very clearly, your passion shows. You are a parks guy. But I have to ask, what's behind that? You brought up you mentioned your childhood. What's made you a parks person?
So I think the statute of limitations worn out, but I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and my parents, I think, just said, he's feral. Let him do whatever he wants. So I could talk for hours, but, Overbrook Ravine was in our neighborhood. I grew up in Overbrook Ravine doing whatever, sledding, hiking, trying to catch fish, doing probably things that you shouldn't do as, a young kid. And, that turned into hanging out at the deaf and blind school where they had woods everywhere. Then I got a bike, and then I started to visit our metro parks, never knowing I would have the role I have now, but I used to go up to Sharon Woods on my bike all the time. And if you think about that, from Clintonville to Sharon Woods, 10, 11-year-old kid, like I said, I was a feral kid. And my parents were great. They let me do kind of those things. The Olentangy River was my playground. And I never thought there could be a career in it, but it really has evolved into a career of not only me and my family getting outside, but I have a real passion for getting other people outside. I think it is the cure to all ills. I am by no means a medical professional, but there are so many benefits of hanging out outside. Even if it's simple on a day like today, breathing cold air kind of gets you going.
Yeah. Well, and I love that too, because especially, in our job, we have to be very, obviously the nature of this podcast, very digital, right? We have to be connected to our phones. We're all tethered in some way to phones, electronics. And I really have enjoyed the quote, touch grass movement. Just like, please, I beg you, go outside. And you're such a good representation of that. There's so much value to disconnecting and getting outside. And like you said, it being a sort of healing factor or process.
So. Oh, no, absolutely. And it really can from the youngest people to the oldest people, experiencing the outdoors. And I think we are, as a society, we've gotten a little bit that the outdoors is not the best place to be. And that's from a variety, from the media, from, even back in my days with Columbus Recreation Parks, there's perceptions that there's grizzly bears out there that are going to eat you. Or if you swim in the ocean, you're going to get eaten by a shark. I mean, those things are so far and remote.
Sure.
Chronic disease is the one that we worry about. And what better way to build up your heart than get out and hike?
Yeah.
And it's not just good for the body, it's good for the mind. It's good to get out in nature and experience that, I feel like. So there's definitely a connection between public health and metro parks.
Yeah. And really quick, I hate to veer because I know you were that was a segue into the next question, but I have to ask because I'll blow the ending here. I was secretly very happy, but did any part of you in COVID, which it was a very tough time for everybody. I don't mean to make light of a very difficult situation for any listeners out there, but the one thing that I really did enjoy from COVID was seeing photos of wildlife emerge in what was once human populated areas where, wildlife was kind of retaking their natural habitat. Did any part of you enjoy that? Because I really enjoyed wildlife kind of getting their time, their day again, despite the difficulties for the rest of us.
No, and through the media, you saw all types of that. You
Yeah.
saw the canals in Venice all of a sudden go from a brown to a clear. Yeah, there was all kinds of cool stuff. But really, COVID for metro parks, it was a challenge for everybody.
Really?
But early on, we knew metro parks were going to be a destination, and we did everything possible. Our parks never closed for a minute. Now,
Is that right?
yeah, were there restrictions to this, that, the other? Absolutely. But during the COVID years, our attendance increased during COVID, where you look at every other industry, every other system, it decreased. And, we were part of, a many task force on how to address this. We took a different approach. We moved people out of offices. We separated people. Our naturalists, our office people, they became trail walkers. And we'd give them a 5-gallon bucket and say, walk the trails and say hi to people. And if you see any trash, pick it up. And 14-ish million people came out in that 1 year that COVID was really locked down to your metro parks.
Wow. That's incredible and unsurprisingly innovative given, what we're here to talk with you about today.
Yeah, we want to talk about the Winter Hike Series. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah.
Well, we are at the tail end of the Winter Hike Series, but our Winter Hike Series goes on every year. So everybody who's listening today, remember, if you missed a little bit this year, you can sure get it next year. But our Winter Hike Series is a great way to motivate people to get outdoors. It starts in December with some select parks that we do holiday lights. And then it goes into January, and these are some of our more robust hikes, down at Clear Creek. And, this is the real adventuresome. And then February, we get ready to tail it off. And we've got some hikes in February to encourage people to get outside. And how do we do that? Well, one, it's just really cool to get outside. And it's not specific. So if you've got a Saturday open, you can do a winter hike. If you got a Tuesday afternoon, you can do a winter hike. Now, on Saturdays and Sundays, we put a little more focus into the select parks. And if it's a select park and you go there, we're going to have some drinks. We'll have some snacks, maybe a little bit of food to motivate people. But what's really cool is our big motivation, where if you hike to a certain amount of parks and get your card punched, you can qualify for a nice winter hike patch. Or if you've already got the patch, there's some years that you can add onto it. And then if you're a friend of Metro Parks, that's the real cool one. If you do all of our hikes, so 20 hikes, and you're a friend of Metro Parks, you get the coolest hiking stick. And people are so competitive to get your hiking stick. So everybody listening now, you have a challenge because we're at the tail end of the hikes, but you can still join Friends of Metro Parks, do our 20 hikes, join us February 22nd at Blacklick Woods Golf Course. Huge party. And you can get your commemorative hiking stick.
Oh,
I did not know about the commemorative hiking stick.
I want the commemorative hiking stick. It did not take very much of a sales
we need to get a picture of what that looks like.
Yeah,
so we can share that out.
We definitely do. And really quick, I know, apologies, Andrew, and I keep veering off to the side, but I know, and I don't know, and hopefully you can tell us, but you all have to have more programs than the Winter Hike Series. Do you want to? I don't know if you want to take some time to talk about some of the other programming or events you do throughout the year that people would be interested in.
So absolutely. So the staff at Metro Parks, we've got naturalists who are really geared into what goes on at their site. So winter's a great time to see our owls. Winter's a great time to see even the mammals who live in the parks because you don't have the leaf cover and all of that. And really, our programs are focused around the specialty of that park. And while we could talk for hours about some of those programs, what I really encourage you to do, go to metroparks.net. And this isn't just for the winter. This is any time. And look up the park that's closest to you, or look at the park that maybe you haven't been to and see some of their programs. Another avenue that we've really expanded on is our outdoor adventure team. Our outdoor adventure team, right now, because there's snow on the ground, they'll be at a sledding hill, maybe even today, with a campfire, s'mores, hot chocolate, snowshoes, a little bit of cross-country skiing. We really want to get people outdoor engaged and really to enjoy this winter weather.
So cool. I knew you guys would have a lot of stuff going on, and that alone, just the s'mores and campfire stuff is amazing. So we sort of touched on this already, but I want to get some perspective from you. You know, we here at the health department, we have all sorts of promotions and events around like being active. You know, we partner in 5Ks, walks, health fairs, all sorts of stuff where we promote physical activity. Obviously, hiking. Big physical activity. We touched on how it kind of, generally it benefits your mind and your body and stuff like that. You know, from the park side of things, do you have any sort of like anecdotal evidence or stories of sort of the benefits of hiking and what that can like cause in a person?
So I won't drop any names here, but your evidence. A few years ago, we met a gentleman who really was starting to partake in all of our programs. We started to see him a lot. And if he listens to this, he'll know what I'm talking about. And he had some health issues. He had significant health issues. And his doctors did what doctors do. You know, they put him on a program, some prescriptions, some diet issues, and it was working a little bit. But he started going to our parks. He started volunteering. He lost hundreds of pounds. Wow. I did not know him when he was larger. And he had some ailments that are now gone. And he would be able to convey this much better than me. But it's all because he got out and started walking at our parks, not running, not doing mountains, not the things that scare people in general. He walked. Then he became a volunteer at Inniswood, and he enjoyed that. Now he is the vice president. See, I'm kind of name dropping. He'll know who I am. Uh-oh. He's the vice president of our Friends of Metro Parks. He's just an amazing story. That's one story of thousands who have figured out their way of enjoying their Metro Parks.
Yeah, and I like that you said that. You know, I know so many people, and again, physical activity of all kinds is great, but I think a lot of people fall into that trap that you talk about where it's like it's marathons or nothing. It's like, I want to do this for the new year and it's going to be a marathon. I'm like, you don't have to do a marathon.
It can be much more simple.
It could be much more simple. Yeah, exactly. I like that. Parks are definitely a good, healthy, friendly way to start, non-scary.
Absolutely.
But we do have scary.
If you want scary.
In a good way. And it's really the season. You know, I'm a kid of Columbus, Ohio, lived here my whole life. Remember the 70s like it was yesterday, where it snowed in November and the snow stayed until March. Maybe my memory is not all that good. But right now we're in the middle of, 12 inches of snow. Our sled hills are packed. And don't tell my bosses, but I get out and I get to go to those sled hills and I get to hang out. But just hearing the screams and the laughter, and it's not just 7-year-olds and 12-year-olds, it's 30-year-olds and 50-year-olds and even older. And we've got sled hills throughout the district. Some are calm, and then you could maybe go to Quarry Trails where calm would never be said. And the nice thing about Quarry Trails Hill, once you go down it about 2 times, you're too tired from walking back up. You can call it a day.
I love that there's the range, right? You can choose what's best for you. What are some of your favorite parks and trails?
So you're asking a question like, who's your favorite child?
Yes.
So who is your favorite child?
I'm gonna let you in on I could answer that easier
than
my favorite park.
Maybe don't answer that. Maybe not.
But no, it really is, and staff knows this. Whatever park I'm in is absolutely my favorite park, and for a variety of reasons. I mean, you've got some of our traditional parks, Sharon Woods, 600-acre park, kind of 4 boundaries. It's real traditional. Trails, some hiking, some ups and downs, great programs. And then let's go to another extreme, Clear Creek down, on the Hocking, Fairfield County border. It's, the Appalachian Mountain foothills. It's cliffs. It's sandstone. It's elevation gain that you wouldn't picture in central Ohio. there's just so many things. Inniswood, I mentioned a little bit earlier, a botanical garden right here in central Ohio. Scioto Audubon, an urban park in the middle of the city, built on a polluted site that needed, cleanup. It's just, there's so much variety. There's no way to pick. The audience probably has their favorite park, but there's no way for me because I get to go to all of them.
Well, you know what they say about Inniswood. Our local park, Inniswood, makes Death Valley National Park look like a wasteland. You enjoyed that park's humor. I appreciate you.
Inniswood, lots of stuff growing. Death Valley, not much growing.
I worked on that one. I workshopped.
Okay. I know nobody's going to remember this, but, the house at Inniswood where the two Innis sisters used to live, supposedly haunted.
I love that.
Maybe that's for the October.
Yep.
podcast.
Halloween, we'll have to come back.
Halloween.
Is there a park that maybe is kind of like a sort of a best kept secret, like an area that people don't talk about enough, but they should?
The problem is when I talk about them, they're not so popular, but yes. So Blendon Woods, it was our second park. Real great park, ups, downs, all of that. Just north of Blendon Woods. So if you leave Blendon Woods, head into the Little Turtle Golf Course area. That's called Little Turtle Way, and then it turns into Cambria Way. There's a place we call the 100-Acre Wood, and it's old-growth forest-like. There truly is no such thing as old-growth forest, but it's old-growth forest in the middle of the city of Columbus. We're talking 125, 150-year-old white oak trees, no design trails, no bridges. It is what Ohio looked like 200 years ago. And not to get too scientific-y here, but most of Ohio now has been logged or farmed or urbanized, and we get invasive species who like that kind of disturbed area. The 100-Acre Wood is so old and so mature, there are no invasive species. So we're so used to looking at a forest to have ground cover and then trees, and you can't see through it. All it is big, giant trees, and it is spectacular year-round. The other really cool thing about it is there's an eagle's nest on Big Walnut Creek just across from the park. So if you hike through 100-Acre Wood and you look to the west, you're eye level with an eagle's nest. And I don't know this for a fact, but they should be getting ready to get on their nest about this time of year to lay eggs and raise their young. It is spectacular. I probably should have started with this. The 100-Acre Wood, if you know Winnie the Pooh. It was Christopher Robin's magical place.
Right.
In London, teeny little park. It's kind of that feeling. You can do with it what you want, and as long as you're pretty safe, the heffalumps won't get you.
Good to know.
I've heard several heffalump sightings.
Okay.
I'm a believer.
We'll have to have a whole show about that.
Absolutely.
One thing we do like to ask a lot of our guests, it's kind of like a pageant question. Like, if you could wave a magic wand and change one thing in the world of parks or maybe in the world in general, what would you do?
I really think getting outside, getting dirty, like dirt is good food. Boy, I shouldn't say that on a health department podcast, but it really is. Get outside, let your feet get dirty. Go creaking. And I don't care how old you are or what your challenges are. I mean, we create spaces for everybody. And I'm really not answering your question, but I got excited about something.
That's okay.
A great example of that is we created a fully inclusive play space in the middle of the forest at Blendon Woods. So if you look at it in a snapshot, it's a playground sitting in the middle of the forest, but it's fully accessible, designed with accessibility everywhere. And kind of my tagline that I use, it's also an exclusive, inclusive play area, meaning at certain times of the day, it's exclusively for groups or people with challenges.
That's
it
great.
might be, Mrs. McGillicuddy's third grade class who has some challenges. It might be a teen group who normally doesn't get a space to themselves. Now, other times of the day, it is open to the public. But you would never think that we are proud of making something exclusively inclusive. But it is a great place for people to do that. And I think that's what all of Central Ohio should look at. How can you make your spaces accessible to all, not only physical and emotional challenges, but age or just, that general, I don't like the outdoors. So how can we create spaces? Even if you go to Battelle Darby Creek, Big Darby Creek is a federal and state scenic river recognized as probably the best warm water stream in North America. But to get to it, sometimes you got to go down a hill or you're a little nervous. What did we do at the Nature Center? We created an indoor stream that replicates the Darby perfectly. Meaning, not only are there fish and reptiles and amphibians, but we actually pull the water out of the creek. We bring the fish and the animals out of the creek for you to see there. If you haven't been there, shame on you. Everybody listen to this. You have to go to it or you're going to upset Tim.
Yeah, shame on you, Andrew. I've been. Don't
What are
fact
you
check
talking
me.
to me? What I want to say is, I used to work with a group that helped adults with disabilities, and a lot of them just love to go to the metro parks. And so when you talk about accessibility, that's really important and a great point to make.
Yeah.
Is how important that is for those folks.
Yeah. Well, and listen, I've the biggest takeaway I've had from this interview with you is that I feel very heartened because when, again, working in the digital side of things like we do, I feel like I get a view of like sort of humdrum, like everybody's on their phone too much. No one's actually getting outside anymore. I'm trying to figure out for ways for my kids like to get outside in the future and stuff like that. And just hearing you talk about how there's like people of all ages still going to sledding events and still going on hikes and everything. It's just like great evidence to the contrary and a reminder for all of us to unplug. And maybe sometimes things aren't as dark as they seem.
No, absolutely. Every day is a great day in your metro parks. It truly, truly is. Here we are recording. I think the low today was 0 or if you go to our parks, literally this second, there's people on our trails. There's people enjoying their parks, and we're ready for you.
Just dress appropriately for the weather. Is what we would say for that.
Yeah, the public health side.
See, once again, public health shouldn't invite me to a podcast. When you said dress appropriately, and people who know me are going to know where I'm going with this. The weathermen are great. They are the worst. They are great at being the worst public relations department for metro parks. They really are. Because what's the lead every time? Oh, it's cold out. Stay inside. Oh, it's hot out. Stay inside. Oh, it's going to. Yeah. Wind chill is my bane of my existence because wind chill kind of is based on the fact if you're out there naked. But if you have the proper clothing with
That's
what
why we
you
say
just
dress
said,
appropriately.
yeah. There is no wind, maybe on your nose or, if you forget your gloves. But yeah, you just have to be prepared for the situation. Summer's the same thing. Guess what? It's cold today. Guess what it's going to be in June? It will be hot in June. There, I just predicted the weather.
Take that, Ben Gelber. Sorry, I had to make sure Ben Gilbert still worked. That's what I was looking at. I was like, okay, the only weather person I know that's still employed is Ben Gilbert. You heard him. Just sorry. We don't have to attack Ben Gilbert personally.
No, and I'm not attacking.
No, I know you're not.
I meteorologists, they do a great job because they tell me how I should be dressed appropriately.
There you go.
Yes, absolutely.
No one is attacking Ben Gilbert.
Ben, no.
Zach, did you have anything you wanted to end with?
I don't have I don't have a game per se, but I'm interested. You have such a wealth of knowledge. I know I've been to Sharon Woods, and I think I've been to Blendon, and I've been to only a small amount of here in the metro parks locally. But I just wanted to see if there was parks outside of the state, whether metro or national or anything that sort of stick in your mind. If people are like traveling, if we've got any parks heads listening, like, is there a place that you would recommend, even if it's outside of Ohio, that they go?
There are parks outside of the Columbus and Franklin County.
That's my bad.
That's my bad.
No, there's actually parks not only all over Ohio, central Ohio. Do I have an affinity for some parks? Yeah. I got to go to Yellowstone when I was 5. I've probably been there 10 times since.
I love it.
And, I'm really going to start stumping the hosts here. Yellowstone, what would you name an animal that lives in Yellowstone?
Oh, boy. I feel
they're kind of iconic. They live in Yellowstone. I think Dances with Wolves. Think
wolves.
Okay, there's wolves. There's wolves that live in Yellowstone. What animal?
Bison.
So they live in Yellowstone. You know where else they live?
You brought the park up. I forget what one it is.
We have a herd of bison at Battelle Darby.
Battelle Darby. That's right.
And if once again, shame on you if you've never seen a herd of bison living how bison live in central Ohio. And one of the questions, here's 2 funny ones. These better not end up on the cutting room floor. Kind of more serious. So we've created native prairies out at Battelle Darby that were here in central Ohio hundreds of years ago when there were bison in Ohio. So the bison we have at Battelle Darby live how bison would have lived hundreds of years ago. Now, the funny story, and what a great day to do it, and it hasn't happened this week yet, but I used to somewhat frequently get phone calls going, hey, I was out at Battelle Darby, and I saw the bison, and they were out in the snow, and it looked really cold, and I didn't know, it didn't look like they had anywhere to go indoors. And I'm a professional. And in my mind, I've got all kinds of answers, but I'm like, yeah, they're bison. They're used to 30, 40 below zero. They actually thrive in the winter. But if you go out there when there's snow on the ground, it's just, they enjoy the snow. They play in it. They roll in it. They dig for, prairie grasses. But yeah, you need to get out there. I guess what I'm saying to you and anybody in the audience, if you haven't been to Battelle Darby Creek, shame on you.
Yeah, Andrew.
A lot of shaming.
I was going to say, shaming an audience when you're trying to get people to listen. I'm probably not the best at your marketing department.
It's all good. It's all good. We love the passion for the parks. And I've got a few trivia questions that might, for the both of you.
I'm about to get the floor wiped with me.
No, not a whole lot today. What do you think is the oldest national park in the country?
This man knows.
What do you mean this man knows? Anybody should know.
Oh gosh.
Tim, please do me the honors. I'm not sure.
Yellowstone National Park.
I wanted to guess that, but I wasn't
created by
sure.
Theodore Roosevelt because he, much like us, understood the importance of these natural resources. And he saw, kind of that urban development, the Industrial Revolution, those types of things that were potentially a hazard for keeping these great things.
What year, bonus question, what year was Yellowstone established?
Oh,
Since
now
it is
everybody's
the
looking at
oldest.
me. I do not know.
Well, not looking at Zach.
I can't remember. 19. So Teddy was early 1900s, and I'm talking would it be 1908?
17.
I had 17 in my head too.
What I'm seeing here is it was established in 1872.
Oh, wow.
So we're both way off.
Yeah,
Older
we're
than that even.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Yellowstone has been around a long, long time. What do you think is the most visited national park? It's not the same one. I won't repeat. Yes, Tim.
Great Smoky Mountains.
Great Smoky Mountains. Absolutely right.
I love this.
We did not go over this beforehand, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're wondering.
That's so fast.
Great Smoky Mountains National Park in North Carolina and Tennessee is the most visited, with annual visitors between 10 and 12 million people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, there's nothing. I have no guardrails, so I apologize. Who cares about these parks? Let's do some trivia about our metro parks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quiz you guys.
Go for it.
No.
Okay. So what was the first Columbus and Franklin County Metro Park?
Let me Google that real quick.
Was it? Did you say it was Blendon or no?
I
It
said
the
Blendon
second-
was number
second.
2.
Okay.
Starts with a B. I'll give you that.
Battelle Darby.
No, that was number 3.
Hey, I was close.
Blacklick Woods on the east side, and kind of a funny
Okay.
story to go with that. When it was established, our park district was established in 45. The park was opened in 48. Our lovely newspaper, the Columbus Citizen Journal, no longer here, wrote an op-ed of why would you build a park so far away from people that they'll never go to it. It's on a 2-lane road in the middle of nowhere, and it's really one of our cornerstones of our district. And bonus points, in the past 2 years, it's been our most visited park, and primarily because we built a canopy walk through the forest out there, so you can be 40 feet in the air and go all the way through the forest out there.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Any more questions
Yeah,
for us?
do you-
Oh, we could be here all day. if
Give
you
me
want.
one more.
Give us one more in the hopes that we may get it right.
Okay, so let's go with how many counties do the Columbus and Franklin County Metro Park systems touch?
So he had mentioned earlier Hawking. Like we know it extends down to like the sort of Hawking line.
I'm going to say 7.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
How'd you know that?
I mean, I was just thinking about, Franklin and all of the bordering counties. Are those the ones?
Yeah, well, kind of, sort of. But
Okay.
That's crazy.
There we go.
And really, that's established not only because of the importance of environmental concerns, but really how Central Ohio has grown. I mean, if you think about it, back when we first established, our goal was preserving lands that were already in a natural state. Then in the past 20 or 25 years, we've kind of moved more inward-facing with Scioto Audubon, quarry trails, and really getting big, giant parks closer to people. And here I'm commandeering again. It's 2026. We're opening 2 new parks in 2026.
Really?
And I have bonus prize for either one of you if you know where either one of those is.
Oh my God.
I don't, but I'm interested to know where they are.
I'm going to throw out 2 random areas: Canal, Winchester, or Dublin.
No and no.
Darn,
We got
okay.
great parks in Dublin. We got Glacier Ridge in Dublin. Homestead's right on the border. Canal Winchester. We've got 3 Creeks. We've got Walnut Woods, Pickerington Ponds, all in that general area. No, we're going to open what's called Great Southern Metro Park April 1st. No joke. And it's behind Great Southern Shopping Center. And this is a unique park for us because it's in a really underserved area. It's small for what we consider a metro park. It's around 50 acres. Kind of just touches the Scioto River. It's on the old Ohio to Erie Canal land. The goal with that is to not only open the park, but then to build a trail from the south end all the way to downtown Columbus. So you'll be able to really ride your bike from 270 on the south end to 270 on the east end, or 270 on the north end, or 270 on the west end. It will really have all 4 corners of the area taken. So that's going to open April 1st. That'll be a more traditional, typical metro park. Then May 16th, we're going to open Bank Run Metro Park. Bank Run Metro Park is the old Hoover YMCA camp on the south side, really east of Scioto Downs. And we're going to open that as a special event park. So that's going to be a place you can have your weddings, your big events, class reunions, corporate events, big concerts, festivals. And it's a traditional residential camp on the east side. And then we bought a quarry on the west side that's going to have canoeing, kayaking, and it's all right along Big Walnut Creek. We've partnered up with Lockbourne, Obetz, Hamilton Township, and it's just going to be a great place for big events to happen.
Nice. I love that. I thought of one more question, and if you don't want to answer this or if it veers too far away, because you've been so fun and insightful, but one thing that concerns me is seeing, at least at a federal level, like the amount of parkland being sort of infringed upon, sold, however you want to word it. Can you speak to anything like, are we safe here in our metro parks? Does that sort of stuff, like, are we ever at threat from losing metro parkland or anything?
So great question. And I wouldn't say we're at threat. I think what we were is we looked ahead. So I told you back in 45, we established a park district. Back in, I think it was 17 or 18, Ohio established what are called 1545 park districts. And that's really what we are. And that was our state legislature who was thinking ahead. They knew we had to protect these areas. So we're our own form of government. And I don't know, maybe that's probably boring to everybody listening, but we're not the county, we're not the city, we're not the state. We're our own political subdivision, governed by a board of park commissioners whose sole charge by state statute is to protect these lands.
That's awesome.
So not only is that our mission, there are laws that prevent us from doing things like you mentioned. And a lot of the land we've purchased have been with outside funding, such as Clean Ohio, H2 Ohio, WRSP. Those are other layers of protection. So if you get some whack job like me managing the district, there's protections to prevent that. So you can sleep easy at night knowing your metro parks are going to be here for a long, long time after any of us are here.
That's a great, thank you so much. I'm like, wow, he almost had me waving the Ohio flag.
There we go.
So I love that. That's awesome. That's an amazing answer.
Tim Moloney, Executive Director of Columbus and Franklin County Metro Parks. Tim, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was a lot of fun.
I'll be back next week. We can do this all over again.
Yes,
Sounds good.
Thank you for listening to the Health is Real podcast from Franklin County Public Health. We want to hear from you. Email us your thoughts at fcph@franklincountyohio.gov, and we might respond on a future episode of Health is Real. And also be sure to follow FCPH on all social media platforms for the latest updates.